club isn't the best place to find love, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends sit at the table doing shots, drinking fast and then we talk slow. We come on over and stop a conversation with just me. Trust me, give it a chance. Not in my hands. Find the man on the jukebox, then we start to dance. And I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was heavy for somebody like me. Coming out of my lead, I may be crazy, don't mind me. See, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Coming out of my league, coming out of my league. I'm in love with the shape of you. Push and pull like a man I do, but my heart is falling. I'm in love with your body. Last night you hit my room, and now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in love with your body. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. One weekend we let the story begin. We're going out on a first date. You and me third, just so good looking. You fill up a plate, I fill up a plate. We talk for hours and hours about the sweet and sour, how your family is doing okay. Leaving it in a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. And I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was heavy for somebody like me. Coming out of my lead, I may be crazy, don't mind me. See, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Coming out of my league, coming out of my league. I'm in love with the shape of you. Push and pull like a man I do, but my heart is falling. I'm in love with your body. Last night you hit my room, and now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in love with your body. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. So come on, be my baby. Come on. So come on, be my baby. Come on. Come on, be my baby. Come on. So come on, be my baby. Come on. Come on, be my baby. Come on. Come on, be my baby. Come on. So come on, be my baby. Come on. Come on, be my baby. Oh, I'm in love with the shape of you. Push and pull like a magnet too, but my heart is falling. I'm in love with your body. Last night you hit my room, and now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. So come on, be my baby. Come on. I'm in love with your body. So come on, be my baby. Come on, yeah. I'm in love with your bodies. Come on, be my baby. Come on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. Ooh, ooh. I'm in love with the shape of you.
Natasha, oh my goodness. Okay, so Natasha just managed to light this room up.
So good,
it's
girl.
on fire. So good. Awesome.
I have not been serenaded like that in a long time.
Unbelievable.
Just for you ladies today.
Just for us.
Unbelievable. So good. Hi, you guys. Good evening. Welcome to our Thursday evening space on Anything Goes with Morella and Julia. I promised you guys a treat this evening, and we are not disappointing. Over here to my left, we have Kim Bassler, lovely co-host, and my daughter Julia Scalise over there. To my right, we have beautiful Sheila Good. And right over there, beautiful and talented Natasha Meister. Let's give everybody another round of applause. So good. So
good.
like, I wanted to get up and dance. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. And I think Kim and Sheila and Julia were just like, that's over there. But we're nice and cozy, so we can't really actually move. We're so excited to have you guys this evening. I want to thank Frequency 5 FM and Maria and Joseph as usual, our production team. I want to thank all of you guys. Every single week, you guys do not disappoint. We are feeling the love. We are feeling the support. And this evening, I mean, you know, we talk about a lot of different things, and we always have some underlying themes, and it's not a coincidence that I've got these lovely ladies in the studio, and Julia and I really wanted to bring to the forefront about finding our voice, finding our powerful voice, as Natasha has just eloquently showed us, and Kim and Sheila are not foreign to this, as well as self-image. I really wanted to bring the discussion up to the forefront about, you know, with all the pressures of social media and self-image and body image and just our own images, how much is prevalent in terms of, are we really ourselves, or are we fabricating ourselves, and being true to ourselves? I really wanted to talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, everyday superheroes, which these ladies are not foreign to either. We always talk about all these people out there that, you know, have millions and millions and millions of followers that are doing good, and that's great. But what about all the people that we don't hear anything about that are always doing such wonderful, wonderful things? So, you know, really want to talk about that tonight. You guys let us know that you're on. Julia's going to be monitoring the comments, and we are going to be acknowledging you, and Natasha is going to give us another song a bit later on. So let's get right into this.
Let's go.
How are you guys feeling?
Real
Sheila?
good. Awesome sauce.
As always.
As
Natasha.
always.
So good.
So good. Kim.
Let's get her going.
Let's get her going. Julia.
Yeah.
As always. We always do a week in review, and I would love to start it off, and I want to give you guys a chance to talk about how your weeks have been going. I want you guys to tell everybody what amazing stuff has happened, or not so amazing stuff that you've experienced. I want you guys to really let people you know, into your lives and get to know you a little bit. And I may ask some questions, and there might be some doozies, or maybe not. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I want to give a shout out. First of all, Julia and I went to 3 different events this week. And
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
And
we did.
they were all powerful in their own right. So a shout out to Joel Martin, who everyone here knows. He did a My Empire networking event on Sunday, and it was absolutely amazing. Now, it's my fault. We promised the tambourine, because I released a video with Julia and her tambourine, and it was freaking awesome. I forgot it at home, but we are going to bring it next week. So my bad. Sorry. It was
It's
awesome.
okay.
It was awesome. But it was a great event. And then the next night, he always does an open mic night at Rockin' Docks. And so we went, and a lot of great talent there. Just a lot of community, a lot of really fantastic people. And then last night, I absolutely want to give a shout out to lovely Victoria Lorient Fabish. She delivered a powerhouse workshop on Stop Dimming Your Light. And we were there. It was a room full of fantastic people, just like so transformative. And this is what it's all about, right? Really getting people to get out of their shell, share their stories. And so it's been, you know what? I got to say, if I had to use one word to describe my week, I want to say very surreal. It's been really surreal.
Awesome.
Kim, your turn.
Wow, I've had a great week too. Really good week. I think the more I do the work that I'm doing in the community, and you know, even through Facebook and through different platforms on social media, I'm allowing an opportunity for women to show up, and to show up in a space where they feel really comfortable and safe to show up.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as that happens, you know, all of the armor that women are carrying, that, you know, they think that they need to carry to keep themselves protected,
Yes.
they're letting some of that come down, and they're allowing me, at least in that space, to feel comfortable to share some of their vulnerability, and allowing themselves to be recognized. So I've had a lot of that this week, and I applaud women who can show up on days when they're sad,
Yeah.
and they can show up on days when they're, you know, flying high, right? We have to just,
Yes.
we have to ride life, and I applaud women to do that. So that's, my week's been amazing.
So let's applaud that, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's applaud that. That's amazing. And if you had to use one word to describe your week, how it's been, how you're feeling about it, what would it be?
Passion.
Passion. And you guys, in typical fashion, I always tell you guys how I know our guests. And Kim, and we'll get to Sheila and Natasha in a moment, but Kim and I, we met at a number of events, and at Joelle's event in the summer, she did a speaking gig, and she talked about body image and self-image and body beautiful, and I got to tell you, you delivered it like there is no tomorrow, and I was in awe because you owned it, and you really give a voice to everybody that might be too afraid to share their voice, too afraid to be judged, or they're going to be judged. That's what they're afraid of. You just put it out there and really shared your vulnerabilities. So thank you, and I'm so glad we've had a chance to get to know each other. It's been good,
It's been so good, and I love it. It's great.
Awesome. Julia, my co-host over to the left. How's your week been?
There was a herd of cows going north on the 401.
She's
How
been
to get
doing
out of
this for
any
the last couple of weeks.
situation.
It's been great. Yeah.
How to get out of any situation. My week has been, I don't know how to describe it, all over the place. So I would definitely say twisted.
Twisted? That's your word?
Is my word.
Are you going to give us an explanation later?
I don't know. It's just like, I have no idea. It's just like, 1 minute I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing so great. I'm doing wonderful. And then like the next minute I'm like, oh my God.
What?
Learn how to drive. I know I don't want the muffin. I want the coffee. Or like I'm about to like actually get out of the car and slap someone in the face at the red light. So
Okay.
it's one of those.
Okay.
But
So
I'm positive. Great. Fantastic.
Ride it. There was a herd of cows
There
on
was
the
a herd of
400
cows
North.
going on the 400 north.
Twisted, you know what, though? I get what you're saying about, like, ups and downs. We're
I
gonna
don't know.
talk
I think
about
it's like
that.
the weather. Like 1 minute it's hot, 1 minute it's cold.
Yeah.
And it's like a flip.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to feel.
You know what?
I'm very twisted.
We're going to
about
talk
it.
to our panel, our power panel about this tonight, because I think there's been something in the air going on about people feeling very conflicted, very...
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, no, dun, 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 dun. Okay, anyway, so people feeling very conflicted and twisted and turmoiled, and I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad. I can do this, no, I can't. I can do this, no, I can't. So I want to talk a little bit about that in a bit. But that's a really good, not that it's good that you went through that, it's good analogy of how you've been feeling. So thank you for sharing.
There was a hurdle. Okay, yeah.
Over to my right, Sheila, your week, how have you been feeling?
I would describe it as bravely navigating.
Okay.
And something that's something that's really important to me is to never see any situation as more elaborate or exciting or going to deliver something better
Yep.
than I think,
Yeah.
and never allowing something that seems really dark or difficult to get a hold of me
Yeah.
and consume me. So a bravely navigating, so that would be one word. Another one would be exquisite support.
Wow.
So I felt both this week exquisite support, and Kim would be a part of that. I'm very blessed. Kim and I are very close as friends. We also navigate our journey as coaches together. We're very honest and vulnerable and in tune with one another. And we turn to each other when we're very real. And so one of the highlights of my week, which I posted yesterday on Facebook, and back to the reflection that you're talking about with social media, there is a tendency that we look and see, wow, this person's doing this, or this person just, they had a baby, 10 minutes later they lost all their baby weight, and 4 hours later they had their book on the best New York Times
Right.
best-selling author list. Like
It took them
it's
4 hours to
exactly
do all
yeah,
that?
exactly.
Wow.
It's exactly what every woman wants to hear.
Or see.
Right?
Yeah.
When she's released the biscuit, or I call it the area formerly known as the abdominals, into your lingerie, and you're getting ready for bed and you're having a good look at yourself, and that's what you're comparing it to. So you hear these stories. So I wanted to post because I write, I speak, and I coach, and I'm super honored to have such privileged time with people's hearts. And so, but I wanted to contrast that with we as parents navigate a lot of stuff that's tough. And sometimes we don't talk about that as well as we don't talk about the highlights. So I want to share the highlight.
Yes.
And I don't mind going through any of the dirt as well, but just for time's sake. The highlight was last week I received Max, my son, who's 13. For all of you out there who have a teenage boy, you might not even believe this story. True story. And he comes home with a form from school that says when and where Max will be during his lunch hour. Is he going to be at school? Is he going to be at home? And my first reaction is, man, like I've got to squeeze in every second. My kids are in school to finish my new book, to work with my clients, all the stuff that I do. And he looked at me and said, do you think we could have lunch together every Wednesday and I could come home and spend the time just with you? And it just stopped me in my tracks. And I thought, absolutely. Like, what was I even thinking, right? That is like, to me, that's our uber goal. That should be our biggest goal in anything that we do. And so yesterday, he came home for lunch, and we sat out on the back deck, and we ate sushi, and we chatted. And I said, oh, honey, I'm sorry I don't have everything together yet. And he said, it's about the time that I spend with you. My 13-year-old son. And so to me, that just filled up my love tank. So it's like overflowing tonight, folks. So just be ready to get totally splashed on.
Love
That
bombing.
is so awesome. You know what? You talk about, okay, if I could just interject, and you've said it, Kim, as well, and we're going to get to Natasha in 1 second. We talk about, and Julia has said it as well, and we say it often, about quality moments. We talk about appreciating life's moments. We talk about, and a couple of weeks ago, and we touch upon this every week anyway, but we talked a lot about comparing ourselves to others, right? This need to compare ourselves to others and what they're doing or not doing. And I actually posted somewhere along, because I post often, about, you know what, if we stay in our own lane and we focus forward, right? And every once in a while, when I leave my lane and I go visit another lane, I'm going to make an impact before I come back to mine. But I feel like a good impact, right? But I'm generally in my own lane, doing my thing. Because you know what? I know the capacity that I have to do my own thing. And I'm happy for other people that are doing their own thing. Why can't we do our own thing all together or separately as it? Why are we, measuring and this and that? So the fact that, it took 4 hours or 10 minutes. Wow, it's actually slow in social media world, right?
That's right.
But my point is that good on people who can do that, if they can do that. But you know what? Let's start being a little more real.
Yeah.
Let's start being a little more real. And I love the fact that your son wanted to spend every Wednesday having lunch with you. And all of a sudden, you're like, I'm going to find that time that I would have been, doing laundry or working with my clients. I'll find it another time in the day, right?
Absolutely. And not missing the moment.
And not missing
Because you can't get that back.
No.
And the fact that he wanted it with you, I mean, we have to really see that, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we want our kids. I think that so many people are worrying that as their kids get older, they're not going to want to spend time with their parents.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that you nurture that relationship, and that's why
Yes.
you let them bring their friends home, and that's why you do these types of things. So
Yes.
I love it. I love all parts of that story.
I got to tell you, I don't think Julie and I spend enough time together. We have to work on that, as I insert a sarcastic tone in there. No, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time that Julie and I spent together, and we worked together, and my other daughter as well. So thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. What's the one word for you that you're feeling this week, would you say?
That
The exquisite
bravely,
support,
yeah,
and then
exquisite support
bravely
and
navigating.
bravely navigating.
I like how you
Yes.
chose those methodical choice of words. All right, Natasha,
words.
over to you.
My week. Let's see. Well, my week has been very consistent.
Yeah.
I feel like that could sound boring to a lot of people, but I think consistency is such a key in life. And I think I'm specifically speaking from a work point of view. So, like, in terms of a lot of behind the scenes work, and sometimes it's hard to kind of stay upbeat about it and like always on top of it, because it's like it's work that kind of to some degree, I guess you could say, would go unnoticed, or people aren't aware of the work you put in behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like the songwriting, the practicing, the
performing.
contacting venues and doing all the admin behind the scenes.
Yeah.
People just see you kind of out there on stage, or they hear your song wherever and they think, oh, okay, that's it. that's all there is.
Oh, yeah, because there's no administration when you're an entrepreneur. Like, not,
Right.
none.
No, it all happens, magic. But
The counting fairies.
yeah. But yeah, I think just consistent and just staying dedicated and true to the work.
Yeah.
I think another word I want to say for the week, kind of for me, I I can't think of the specific point. It just kind of I think I was on the street, so I do some busking on the street sometimes, and I think something just kind of like clicked, like also just sort of like reminding me of why I do what I do to like impact others and like to just
Yes.
be an inspiration and to share my gift of music with others, and just like people come like. I think it's like the little kids always kind of get me because like they come up to me and they're so sweet and they just smile, and it's just like, and I think that like reminds me why I do what I do.
And this is a perfect segue, Natasha. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say that when you use the word consistent, I think of productive, that you are consistently producing your passion, right? And doing what you're doing. We got so many people on the line or on the show here, so many comments. I want to get to a few of them because without you guys and without everybody here, this wouldn't be what it is. So thank you. But then I want to continue with all of you because Natasha actually, this is unscripted. She had no idea, but I want to give you guys 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes each, even 5, to talk about why you do what you do. So talk about what you do. Let everybody know, right? All 3, Sheila, Natasha, and Kim. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Please connect with them. But I want you guys to talk a little bit about what you do, like what's your gig and how you've been finding it, and then I want you to talk about why you got into what you're doing, because I think it's so important. So many times, I know myself, I was not stuck. I don't want to use the word stuck, but you guys know I was in a corporate journey for a long time, which I loved. Until I realized that I loved following my passion of doing things and helping people outside of that rigid structure a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna start, and since you talked about it, we'll start with you, Natasha. But first, we've got Julia Scalise is on the line.
Get to the comments.
Get to the comments right now. Okay, Aziz says hello. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure everyone is, feeling the love. Aziz, hello, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. We've got, and I hope I pronounce all the names correctly, we've got Jeannie Pullen. Hi, Kim Bassler.
Hello, Jeannie.
We've got Lorena. Hi, Lorena. She says, hi, ladies. Tammy Adams says, found you.
Yes,
Hi,
you did.
Tammy. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Tanya watching. Hi, Tanya. I met Tanya for the first time last night at the Stop Dimming Your Light workshop. We've got, she says, hi, beautiful ladies. Jeannie says, watching from
Culpeper.
Yes. Virginia.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a perfect segue to Virginia, if I could just say. Well, it's West Virginia. If anybody can tell, I am wearing my shirt from Dirty Dancing, and it says, I always do the last dance of the season. And my kids and I did a road trip to West Virginia many years ago, and we actually stayed in the place where they filmed the Dirty Dancing movie. And I wanted to wear this t-shirt tonight, well, for 2 reasons. Number one, and it wasn't 10 minutes, I hate to disappoint you, but it took me several years to fit back into this t-shirt. So here we are. And the second reason I wanted to wear it is the whole premise of, the principle of the matter, like someone that was always in charge of doing the last dance, and then somebody told them that they could no longer do it because they had been outcast. And then he came back, got the girl of his dreams, took on that stage, did the last dance of the night, and of course everybody lived happily ever after, right? But the whole point was he was a rebel, he was a disruptor, and he left, but then he came back. And I think many of us can relate to that. So that's why I wanted to.
We are all shift disturbers.
I've been waiting for tonight.
Na, 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 na. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Doris is watching. Hey, Doris, how are you? Michael Gelb is watching. Hey, Michael, our bodyguard friend from Toronto. How you doing?
up?
Lorena says, hi, Julia. Thank you. Same to you, ladies. Like, we got so many. Heather Linus Lindsay is watching. Tanya says, Victoria's awesome. Jeannie says, Kim Bassler is amazing. James Leach, hey, how are you? He says, awesome, Kim Bassler. Oh, you guys are really feeling the love, right? We've got Jimmy, hey Jimmy, how are you? Renato is watching. Everyone says hello, ladies. Jimmy says share the love, and he wants to hear Julia singing because they all do.
No.
Lorna Dillon, how are you, Lorna?
Natasha's
so great
do
to
that
see
for
you.
me, please. Thank you, girl. Because
Yes.
damn.
Ramsey's watching. Hey,
Okay.
Ramsey. Sharita Cooks is watching. Sharita, so great to see you last night. Lorna says, good evening, ladies. Sharita says, wonderful panel. I'm trying to get through these. Jimmy says, feeling the rhythm of the night. Ramsey says, hey, guys. James Casco is watching. Hey, James, how are you? And a happy birthday to you, James. Okay, guys. His birthday was yesterday. So can we all do a happy birthday for James right now? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you. I love this song. Your favorite song. Favorite version of it. Your favorite song. James.
The lip syncing thing with the Spanish guy who sings it. Like it's just
That was so good.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy.
James, you had 5 women singing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Lorna says now I'm
What
hearing
was in
El
that hot
DeBarge in my head.
chocolate?
I love El DeBarge too. Vicky is watching. Hey, Vicky. She says hi. Mark
Hey,
Parrish
girl.
is watching. Phil is watching. Douchebag Guido, that's his Instagram handle, is watching.
Natasha's face.
That's his Instagram handle, Douchebag Guido. He puts out some of the best videos.
Oh my
clear.
god.
I gotta tell
Her
you.
face was
She's like, what? What
She's
did she
like,
call
I would never call him that on purpose.
I've never
That's
seen
his,
someone's
like,
eyes widen.
He's really
so
cutting to
big.
the chase here, Marilla.
Douchebag Guido, but also known as Pontiac.
What do you
Black
call me
Frank
when
or
I'm
Black
not
Black
Pontiac or-
Pontiac Frank because he hates black Pontiacs. There's a thing behind
Was
it.
Natasha shocked when I said that? I said it so naturally. I know.
What? Like, it's like she didn't even hear it. Like, no,
All
you
love,
have to-
Phil.
yeah.
All love. Okay, we've got Anna Saavedra. She says, hello, beautiful ladies. We got so many fantastic comments. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming. And if we don't answer or acknowledge tonight, we're absolutely going to acknowledge, as we do after the show, each and every one of you. So let's get going with Natasha. She really said something that was very important. Our platform here on Anything Goes, we kind of emulate our love of music and dance with a little bit of comedy and a little bit of, not a little bit, but a lot of conversation and community spirit. And it's good for the soul. Music is good for the soul. And I love listening to music, even when I've been sad or I've been depressed or I have been feeling hopeless or when I'm happy and I'm just wanting to celebrate. So what was it for you that got you into this? Tell everybody a little bit about your journey and how does it just make you feel at this point in your life?
Yeah. Well, so I got into music already at a very young age. I grew up in somewhat musical type family. My dad used to play guitar, and I've memories of being like 6-7 years old and Johnny Cash tapes were playing, and my dad he would like be playing on his guitar, and just I was always surrounded by music. My grandparents used to love singing. I remember of memories of my older sister and myself singing around the piano with my grandparents, singing hymns, and so beautiful memories. But I was very young still then, and so I didn't really know what music meant to me. I guess at that time yet. So only as I got a little bit older. So I think it was sort of around high school where I guess I kind of started finding my own sort of reason and like drive to really just keep doing what I love. But I was doing it for myself, but for others as well. Obviously there needs to be a passion behind anything I think you do, anything worthwhile that you're going to do if you want to make an impact, I think, on others. And and then I think where I really started finding my voice sort of in what I do is when I actually really started songwriting as well. And a lot of the songs I write about I guess you could say. I mean, it is very relationship based, but I've always tried to keep it like very honest, like in terms of my lyrics and like relatable for others as well.
Yes.
But yeah, like I want people to I just want like the music to speak to people, and I want them to just be find it relatable and whatever it means to them. And I think that's the amazing thing about music. It's such a powerful thing. One song can have so many different meanings as well, or can impact one person a certain way and the other in a completely other way. And so besides performing and all that, I also like teach a bit of music as well. So I have like most of my students are pretty young that I teach, and I love that, like sort of like young kids to like teenagers, and it's just fun watching them grow and fall in love with music, sort of the same way I did, right? And
I want to ask you, did you ever feel a time when you didn't have a voice, or you had like lost your voice and then you were trying to get it back, or did you feel sort of like, shelter is not the right word, but where you felt like you couldn't express yourself, and then all of a sudden you get into this whole genre of performing and writing music and just being who you are, and then allowing others to really enjoy your craft and what you do?
I think, I don't know, I can't really say there's ever been a specific time. It's actually very up and down for me. I don't know if it's because I'm just like, they say artists are generally like emotional people, like we feel like deep emotions, and I believe that to be true to some degree, I would say. But so I am very hard on myself, and I'm very like driven to make things happen, like career wise, and a bit so I mean I've lost sight of sometimes why I do what I do many times,
right?
But there's always, I don't know what it is, there's either a person or something that just gets me inspired again and reminds me why I'm doing it. And
I think that's powerful.
Yeah,
that's very powerful.
It's I could never say there's ever one specific time. It's actually, it is very up and down, and I think it's just always about getting back up on the horse and like just really believing in yourself and what you're doing, that is making an impact.
Absolutely. And could you tell everybody some of your upcoming events? I know you're going to be performing, and I know you hustle, and I know you are performing at a lot of different venues, and every week I see on your social media you're here and there. And would you want to just tell folks where you're going to be next, even like the next couple of events?
Sure. Actually, this coming Saturday, I'm playing at Rock and Docks.
Fun venue.
Awesome.
Such a fun venue. If you guys, it's in Port Credit, and if you guys have not been, or you got to check it out for Joel's open mic night. He does once a month, and of course, Natasha's going to be performing this Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Actually, I'm starting in the afternoon already, 4 till 8, and then I'm actually there on Monday again. Monday night, 6 till 10. A little different time slot.
Nice.
But so catch me on either night, I
Oh,
guess.
and a little shameless plug for Julia and mine little, to be happening launch event under the
I was
Anything
like,
Goes.
what did she say?
We're calling it the Only the Beginning event. It's Thursday evening, December 5th, where we're actually going to be taking this live out there into the wild. And Natasha has been kind enough to perform there, and it's going to be amazing. So you guys get to meet Natasha, and if you're interested, and I'm doing a shameless plug for her, for anything that you guys need, you've heard her, and she's going to play later on. She's fabulous. And I have to tell you, Natasha, like, you talk about moods and you talk about emotions, right? So today I was working in my coffee office, and depending on my mood or what I was working on or how I was feeling, sometimes there was Adele. And so we know when Adele's playing what that means, right? And then there was like some old school funk and like 70s disco, and I'm like feeling great and doing my thing. Yeah. And then there was like some Latin salsa and some, so it's just a whole kind of
mix.
range, but still music really speaks to a lot of different people.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Sheila, why don't you tell everybody what you do, why you got into it, and then I'm going to do also a shameless plug for you, because Sheila has been kind enough to be giving away something invaluable, and I want to kind of tell you about it, and then you are going to add to it. So why don't you tell everybody what you're doing and why you're doing it?
Okay. So I think to really appreciate what I do, it's important that you would know what I used to do.
Yes.
I love compare and contrast. And so I see myself now as assisting people to be able to step into the second act of their life. It has nothing to do with their age.
Right?
And that was birthed from me hustling for my self-worth, for me overstriving, overworking, doing too many things. And so I have a background I have a business and calculus, family law, mediation, pastoral, and chef background. And I gave birth to 6 kids, and because all of that wasn't enough, I went to adopt 5 children in addition that were very abused kids. And so those of you who have heard my story, I'm just recapping for those of you who don't. And went through a very traumatic season of letting go of my marriage and my adopted kids, and found myself staring at the wall with my birth kids after losing so much and not knowing how to start over. And where it's unique for me is being able to, I had to take a season, I call it my fallow field season.
I'm going to interrupt you for
Yeah.
1 second because I hear some like background noise, and I want everybody to hear your story because it's very compelling.
And we're wanting the
I want
bouncers
to
to go
talk to
outside.
my wonderful producer Joseph just to see if there's any way we could reduce some of the background noise that's in our studio.
So what she means
At the-
is,
at the
can you
moment.
all shut the fuck? I'm just joking.
I think the guys from Burger King have followed us, Kim.
I'm just
I think we've got a
kidding.
tribe out there.
Thank you, lovely
You know?
people that were outside
love
the
you.
studio. Thank you, love
Thank
you
you
all.
for leaving now. We appreciate your obedience in this matter.
Sorry, no, because you know what? I really,
It's
it was
okay.
just some background noise,
No,
and
no,
I
I
really
understand.
want you to continue this because it's very important. You talk about where you were and why that's so significant to where you are now, and that's exactly what I want you to share.
Okay,
please
so
continue.
I call that season the season of the fallow field. And I liken that to the life of a farmer. And every 4 years needing to allow that field to rest and not grow anything, not do anything. And I just really needed a season to regroup and restore and just figure out, where do I go from here? And what I mean by that is I think that most people focus on, when you haven't done very much in your life, how to restart or get into personal growth, or how do you step into your calling. I had accomplished a lot by the time I was in my 30s. And so when you go through losing what you consider everything in your life, it shakes your identity, it shakes your very core as to who you are. And there can be the idea that, well, what else could there be in life?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
from my gleaning and healing and taking some time to be able to look at that and say, well, if I feel this way, what about powerful women around the world who have gone through divorce? What about that man who has always had that dream in his heart that he wants to set up a home for men that are dying of cancer? What about that missionary in Honduras who doesn't know how to write a blueprint for other missionaries worldwide? And I see myself now as being able to, because of my experience and my background, being able to equip emerging business leaders to be able to box their brilliance and turn their impact into income, and help them to be able to step fully and show up as who they are into the second act of their life.
Yeah.
And so I work as a co-laborer with them to be able to walk beside them and with them, and to help them into this new unknown space. And I do that, so I call myself a spiritual entrepreneur. I am the Boss Lady Biz Coach on Instagram, and so please follow me on Instagram, Boss Lady Biz Coach. And so I work with clients long term because I've written a 500-page curriculum that I take them on a journey of a year of self-discovery and clarity, figuring out who they serve, what their brand or unbrand looks like, getting to really know their avatar, helping them to discuss what is it you really want to do? Do you want to speak on the stage? Are you called to international work? Do you see yourself writing 30 books? And then I hold them accountable to see it come to fruition. And through that, I work through prayer and meditation and visualization, as well as practical work, helping to figure out what their definite major purpose is, and then launching them into massive action.
And I don't want to put you on the
No,
spot.
no, go ahead.
But last time Sheila graced us with her beautiful voice. Would you like to do that again for 30 or 40 seconds? Perhaps?
Sure. What would you like me to
Whatever
sing?
is speaking to your soul at the moment.
I will. Just give me a second to transition
You don't
into
want,
it.
you don't want live in La Vida Loca?
Yeah. At Burger King.
That's right. Exactly.
Whatever you feel, whatever you feel.
Whopper.
Definitely not the double Whopper. I don't want any Whopper. I don't want any food from Burger King. In fact, I'll be okay if we never, ever go there again.
Oh, there's a story behind that, everybody, because we don't make a habit of going to Burger King. Not that there's anything wrong with going to Burger King,
Right,
but it's
right.
not the place we typically go to.
And yet this afternoon you tried it.
Well,
You tried
know.
Exactly.
I have to tell you, while Sheila's thinking about what song she wants to sing for us, well, just a couple of verses. And she's gonna mention this, but Sheila's gonna offer a one hour,
Yes.
right? Clarity to cash flow strategy session with Sheila, invaluable. And then she's offering something else to do with a really hot destination. So do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. So please join us. I only have a couple spaces left. It is February 1st to the 8th, and it is in Belize. It's called the Unstoppable You Retreat, and it is for entrepreneurs
Yeah.
and people that are coaching and speaking and writing, and they want to just level up, but they also want to push past any fears and mindset barriers that they currently have.
Yeah.
So we're going to be swimming with sharks. We're going to be going on a tour of the Mayan ruins and hiking with howler monkeys, as well as taking a boat across to go snorkeling at the second best place in the world next to the Great Barrier Reef.
Sounds amazing.
And so I'm offering this for those who coach with me for 6 months or a year. It'll be thrown in the package.
Wow.
So please feel free to contact me, Boss Lady Biz Coach, on Instagram.
That's awesome. And I was going to say, we'll pick someone from all the wonderful viewers. This is an invaluable package. It's a 1 hour consultation with Sheila. And I have to say that when you talked about swimming with the sharks, I was reminded of my online dating experiences. I just want to say that because, we got to get that in every single week. We have to talk about modern
So what
dating.
happened this week? Well, I got ghosted once again. Nothing surprising. And at best, I paid for my own coffee.
Yes, because you're an independent woman like that. I just want to mention also really quickly before we get to Kim, Sheila, when we talk about everyday superheroes, I feel like Kim in her own right, Sheila in her own right, Natasha in her own right, Julia, and everybody that we come across and that we've talked to and that we know are everyday superheroes in their own way, because everyone's got struggles and obstacles and challenges. And Sheila, when she speaks on stage, and I've heard you 2 or 3 times now, she literally has like a Wonder Woman costume that
Got
she
it,
puts
girl.
on, and literally she's owning the stage, and it's awesome, because so many people are so afraid to get up there and speak, let alone to show up in a Wonder Woman costume. So good for you.
Well, and it keeps us super vulnerable,
Yes, it does.
right?
Yes, it does.
And that's how I can fully show up as myself.
It's amazing, and you own it. And so thank you so much for
Thank
that. Kim, I have to tell you, so, and sorry, going back to, I met Natasha at Joelle's My Empire networking event over the summer. She was performing, so that's how I know Natasha.
amazing.
She was wonderful. She's here tonight, and as you could tell from her beautiful voice, like, it's just a no-brainer. We love to promote, artists and all different kinds of people that are doing all kinds of different things. And the more mediums that we have to do that, the better. Sheila Se My Dia, I met Sheila through, the speaker community and a lot of different people on social media. And that's where social media is a good thing.
Absolutely, and it is a good tool. It's
You
a great
know,
tool.
Kim is larger than life for me too, because she wants to obviously affect change, but she's all about overall health and well-being, positive health, positive well-being, positive mindset. It's really, really, really important, and she shares what she does to help others through her own 30 or 40 year life story. So
Yeah.
Kim, same with you. Do you want to take the next maybe 3 or 4 minutes to let people know kind of a bit of your backstory
Sure.
and then how that's kind of related to where you are now with what you're doing?
Absolutely, and thank you for that.
No problem.
Taking a 30-year story and condensing it into a couple minutes. So I'm going to do my best
You can
here.
do it. You could do it.
Ultimately, I've struggled since I was a little girl, 12 years old. I think at that vulnerable age where we're trying to figure out who we are and navigating this world. And at 12 years old, for reasons that I'm not necessarily quite sure of, I wasn't confident in myself. And so I decided, like many women, young girls in the world, I decided that if I made my body better in some way, that I would feel more accepted and attractive and, you know, real in this world. So I started dieting at 12 years old, and I dieted, and I say dieted because it really was different forms of eating disorders. For 29 years, I struggled with binging and purging. I struggled with over-exercising. I struggled with fasting and cleansing. Like, you name it, I did it. And it also, like, I was working, and it's interesting because I was working full-time in the fitness industry this entire time. I started teaching fitness classes when I was 16. And as much as I was promoting health and wellness, and I really believe I'm good at it, I still struggled with myself. And I think that that's the world that we're living in, is that we're seeing what we think health and fitness is supposed to look like, and what beauty looks like. That's what we're being told in the world. And I just didn't feel like I fit into it. So I forced my body to try and be a certain way, and then it really started to turn into a lot of comparison and perfectionism, even in my life outside of my body. So it showed up in my role in my career. It showed up in my role as a wife. It showed up in my role as a parent. And you can imagine when you're trying to juggle all of this stuff, it really took a strong beating on my health, to the point that, you know, I was struggling with chest pains. I was covered in hives. I was not able to sleep, and ultimately my world got really dark, really, really dark. And at that point in time, you know, I think, and it's funny because I look at it now, and back then it was like the hardest time in my life. Like, it was when you build your entire identity off of what you think you're supposed to be, and then you ultimately, quote unquote, fail at that, you start to really question yourself. But that dark time in my life, which was a few years ago, I am so incredibly grateful for, because what I've learned in the last few years of my life is that I'm everything that I always was meant to be. I showed up in this world, we all showed up in this world with our own gifts and our own. If we all looked the same and we all did the same things, it would be incredibly boring, right? We all have our way of showing up. So that's really what I'm about, is I'm now really helping women step into their gifts. And of course, I'm working against diet culture. I'm working against all of the fads that women are doing every day, jumping on scales. I mean, I weighed myself for 29 years, sometimes once a day and sometimes 3-4 times a day. Wow. It's you know, it really, that's why I'm quite, anybody that follows me knows that I'm very much against scales. And it's just because of my history with them. They broke me down. They stole my life. They made me unhappy. They made me question my existence, and they made me sometimes a very miserable wife and an ugly mother. I'm being real about it. And so I think when we start to really look at life and go, is this really what life is supposed to be about? And so now the word that comes to me is reborn, because what the person I am now compared to the woman I was 3 years ago is night and day. And I show up in the world so beautifully, and I'm able to now really own my gifts. And like 3 years ago, I would be sitting here all self-conscious, right? And now I'm just like, I'm me, and if you don't like me, I'm okay with that. But I'm a pretty sweet person.
Applause right now.
Thank
right
you.
now for that. Applause.
And I want women, like, I want everyone to know that we're all beautiful in our own ways. And I always say, like, if you want to make your body healthier or stronger or whatever that looks like, it has to be for the right reasons, because we ultimately think that when I'm thinner, when I'm more beautiful, when I change this, when I put this into my body, like whatever it is, we think that that's going to equal happiness.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case. That happiness is within you, and that confidence is in you. And as soon as you start to realize that, you then start to really step into your gifts. And watch out, world, because you show up so confidently, and you build a tribe of women that just and I say women because really, like, women get each other, right?
Yeah.
And so that's this whole point of taking down our masks, showing up, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, and empowering women to go and do the things that they want to do, step into their lives. And that's why I love getting on stages. And I work, as much as I work with women who are older, you know, Monday night I'm going to be in Georgetown speaking with little 9, 10, 13-year-old
Yeah.
little girls,
Yeah.
right? So it starts at home. And so just be very mindful of what you're doing in your home, because your little wee ones are watching.
Yes.
And we really want to, I want to make that impact. I do want to influence, and just want women to know what they have. It's already in you.
You know what? That's amazing. Kim, first of all, thank you so much for your realness, for your authenticity, for putting it out there. Brave for sure, strong for sure. I like what you said about talking to the little ones, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. In the world of Instagram, in the world of social media,
yeah.
in the world of likes and followers and beautiful bodies and look at me, and all these comparisons and all this competition, nothing good is going to come out of trying to be something that you expect other people to be of you. And you talk about your dark times. And I have to tell you, Kim, a while back, posted a picture. And she's gorgeous, and she's in a 2-piece bikini. And she said, "This is what an eating disorder looks like." And it was, it hit my heartstrings. It was so powerful. So if you guys, anyone is struggling with this, or you have children struggling with this, or loved ones, or what have you, you are not alone. You know, like this is, it was a thing before, and now with everything with social media, I just feel like it's just catapulted even more so. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this whole thing about, you know, why we do what we do and why we're trying to help. And all of our guests this evening, in their own way, right, are trying to influence and are trying to, you know, impact. And so I really appreciate that, because your story of 20, 30 years has brought you here. Sheila, your story and your experiences of what you've gone through have brought you here. And Natasha, your own upbringing and what you love and how you feel, you know?
Yeah.
I really want to get these couple of things in here. Natasha mentioned that at one point she sometimes maybe loses sight of why she does what she does. And then it brings it back to her, and she becomes inspired again. Let's talk about it for a minute. Have you guys ever experienced where, let me put it to context. Everybody wants to make a difference. Everybody wants to love and care for and do things for other people. We all want to make an impact. We all want to influence. We all want to, but we all have to make a living as well. And we can do a whole other 5-hour show about the pros and cons and how to go about making a living while also being heart-centric and heart-centered business people, okay? But has there ever been a time when the balance has been a little shifted where, like, you are doing what you're doing and you know your value and you know you're helping people, but sometimes people don't see the value in you or what you're trying to do, and then it feels like they're devaluing what you're doing. Have you guys experienced this?
Well, I did have somebody literally say, "Well, I know you don't do this for a living. You just do this because you care." And I do care very much so.
Of course.
But yes, I am doing this for a living, and I do have 2 children, and I do have my own bills, and I do. But see, this is the thing, right? I want everybody to have a career. I don't like to call things jobs, but we have to love what we do.
Yes.
And I love what I do. And
Yes.
so, and I know the value, like my life has changed so much since I've become who I am.
Yes.
And I know that has value.
Yes.
And so absolutely, I think that people don't necessarily recognize, you know, what we're doing it's got value.
And your life experiences have value. What you're offering has value,
How
and
we
you are
do it.
going to help someone else. And you know what? If it's not you, it will be someone else, because there are lots of people out there. So why not work with and resonate with people that you know you can
That's
trust
exactly
and
it.
respect, and there's a relationship there. It's all
And we
about-
have to stop allowing people in the cheap seats to make expensive decisions for us.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Can
that's
you
a
say
good
that
one.
again,
Right?
please, Sheila?
We
Good.
have to stop
Yes.
allowing people in the cheap seats to
Yeah.
make expensive decisions for us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I gave a speech last week at our hub group in Waterloo, and it was called Attracting Your Soulmate Client. And just that, thinking about it differently, making that decision is I'm only going to work with people who really value my time and my energy. And I see it as I get to interview you. You don't get to come and see, you know, and ask me these. Sure, you can ask me as many questions as you want, but I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
Oh, which by the way,
Thank you.
Jimmy says that scales are only good for baking.
Thank you, Jimmy. You're so right.
You got it. Go for it. Yeah. Do it.
So 2 things. For those of you who have listened to me speak multiple times, I have to give thanks to my mom and dad because I know they're both listening.
Yay.
And yes, my mom and dad. And I can remember my dad actually wanting me to come home at lunchtime so he could meet me on the porch and have a cup of tea when I was in grade 5 and grade 6. And he would put raspberry jam on Ritz crackers. So thank you, Dad, because that sewed that into my life. And my mom as well. Like always, she worked 12-hour shifts at a hospital, but always took that time to love and nurture me. So thank you, both of you. And so my song is just what I would sing to my kids because I'm not there with them tonight. Okay?
Yeah.
You guys can join in if you want.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good night, Max and Bella.
So nice, so nice. Okay, guys, we're now entering the speed round.
Am I the only one who
Oh my God, that really amazing, so good. I was just like, okay, we're gonna do the speed round right now because we're already at like, oh no, wait, we're at 9:08. Sorry, Joseph, you're gonna give me 5 minutes, right? Joe Stetter is watching. Hey, Joe, how are you? Ryan Radin is watching. How are you? Dan says, congratulations. Let's all go dirty dancing. Absolutely. Let's do it. Andrew Cordero is watching. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hey, Andrew.
Yes.
Come
We got
on.
Linda McKinnon is watching. She says, you ladies are rocking
Linda.
it.
Hey, Linda. Love
Thanks
you.
for sharing your strengths, hopes, and encouragement to the world. Aziz says, feeling you guys from Ajax. We've got Vicky. We've got Lorna. She's saying great things. We've got emojis going through. Like, you guys are so... Oh, Andrew says, the new Pussycat dolls.
Yeah. Don't you wish you could find
Like me.
Thank you, Andrew.
What's another one? Something about something.
Let's go, girls.
This isn't the Pussycat Dolls.
Good try, though. Good try.
Oh, my God. So good.
Going out tonight, feeling all right. Going out,
Sybil says Sheila's an amazing daughter. So proud of her. You guys are so amazing. Thank you guys for all the love. Stacy King is watching. I got to do a special shout out to Stacy. Give me 1 second. I see there's so much love here. Andrew says singing is bomb. Okay, I love singing in the car. Most people that see or hear me sing in the car laugh. Andrew, sing. But preach music is so powerful. Leah's watching. So many
you,
amazing
Leah.
people are watching. Thank you guys so much. We're going to get to all the comments later. I want to do a few quick shout outs and then we're going to get to some final thoughts. First of all, you got to connect with Kim Bassler. You got to connect with Sheila Good. You got to connect with Natasha Meister. That's the first thing. On social media, reach out. They all have so much power, so much value. Start a conversation. You never know where it's going to lead, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is Kim is also offering a 160-minute video-based coaching session for mindful eating and eating psychology strategies or for body image. Sorry, I hope I read that right.
Yeah.
So we will pick someone of all the great people that have tuned in. If you're interested, you really want it because it's a fantastic prize pack, please let us know and Kim will get in touch with you. Also, a shout out to Jamel Lindo. He's fantastic. He has a coaching session as well. It's so precise the way that he does things. And he's offering a 1-hour EQ and mindset coaching session as well. More details, I'll put this in the thread if you guys are interested, and we're also going to pick a winner. So thank you guys so much for that. The other thing I wanted to mention really, really quickly is, okay, we got some upcoming things. Blue Suede Sue's.
Oh, Mississauga's best kept secret. Yo, why am I extra?
That was good. Tommy, Adam, and all the fantastic people at Blue Suede's. I have some complimentary tickets to their biggest party of the year, which is on Halloween, which is actually taking place Saturday, November 2nd. I got 4 tickets up for grabs. If you guys want it, message me. We'll be giving them away too. That's our hangout almost every weekend. I'm not ashamed to say it. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to mention is upcoming events. Fearless Voice is happening September 30th, Monday night. Dave and Buster's Vaughn, always a fantastic time. We've got Aya Grade's Libra Bash, fantastic artists from all over the place, happening at, I believe it's Fusion Lounge, October the 11th. We have Tracy Acadia Thomas doing her Kings event at the Gospel Cafe in Mississauga on November 2nd. And then, of course, the one and only Anything Goes launch event on Thursday evening, December 5th. We are going to be doing some promos on that and releasing some details. So I really hope you guys come out. If you want to have some fun, let your hair down and meet some amazing people. That is the place to be that evening. So I just wanted to do a plug for that. And Stacey King, I have to do a shout out. Stacey was a guest on our show, and she's actually really believes in what we're doing here. And she's one of our sponsor partners. And Stacey, if you guys know her story, or if you don't, and we've got her book cover in the background here, she's the mom of the 3 children that were shot last year in the playground. And she has been trying to share her story. And I really want to mention this because her book's coming out around Christmas time. And if you guys are interested, I'll put the details on. Pre-order the book. You can get in touch with Stacey. It's called, and I want to get this right, 3 Girls Shot, a Mother's Tears. So that's the first thing. She's having a support group starting October 26th. Again, details on that. You guys have heard of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So she wants to start a movement called Mothers Against Guns and Violence. And if you guys want to get involved, please reach out to her. The other thing I wanted to ask is if anybody is in the education system, either works within the school system or knows of people, just like Kim is doing and others are doing, reaching the students at a very young age. She wants to start talking to kids about putting down the guns, lifting up your hearts, embrace love, and really change how things are happening out in the Toronto area or any city for that matter. So please get in touch with her. The other thing I want to mention is she's working on I wrote adult magazine, but no, it's nothing like that. It's an adult magazine for us on guns and violence and bullying. And because her children are also...
with that first.
Her children are working on a magazine, which is a child's magazine, but for the adults, bullying and guns and violence. So if you guys are interested in writing articles, if you guys are interested in contributing and writing content, please get in touch with her. And then if you guys are also interested, I think she's starting a chapter series on a few things. She wants to get the message out there. It's such an important thing. So I really wanted to just do a shout out for Stacey, and I'll put her contact information on there as well. I think I've covered everything for the time being. And okay, final thoughts. We've literally got 2 minutes, and then Natasha is going to end our show for us. Julia, you final thoughts.
Final thought is, sorry, I just got notified that I have homework due, and
Okay.
and a class got canceled. So my final thought is, thank God, and I can sleep in on Monday.
Woo!
So
All right.
Other than that,
That's
other than
awesome.
my final thought is, first of all, yes, the scale is for baking. Okay?
Yes.
Make your damn cupcakes and enjoy it. Second, pursue your dream as a pussycat doll because, thank you for that. That just boosted my confidence.
That was awesome,
Love
Andrew.
it.
For sure.
And love yourself, guys.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna say, ooh. I'm gonna say that make a point every day to look at yourself in the mirror and truly look at yourself in the mirror. Don't disconnect on who you are. Get used to your body. It's going to change. It's going to change. Our bodies will age. They will change. Things will fall. Things will wrinkle. Things happen to the body. But you're beautiful. So make sure you spend some time in the mirror and don't lose sight of who you are.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
In the context of talking about self-image and staying true to ourselves and being happy with who we are, my final thought is I am 56 years old.
Mm.
And I always do the last dance of the season, and no one's taken that away from me. So that is my final thought for the evening. And thank you guys so much.
Sheila.
Continue to show up every day as yourself
Right.
and step fully into it. And once you can embrace the journey, you'll be able to stay at your destination.
I love it. Before we get into your song, final thoughts?
Yes. Find your passion, your purpose, and then just pursue it 100%. Go all in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to get to all your comments. I usually acknowledge everybody, but we just had such great conversation tonight with Promise. Thank you for everything that you do to support us. We'll be back next Thursday night. Enjoy the rest of the week. Keep doing what you're doing. We love you. And now over to Natasha to end the segment for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Marilla.
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
Julia.
Thank
you.
you. We love you.
Yay, love you.
So just a quick thing. Yeah, this is, I'm very excited to announce, this is an exclusive acoustic performance I'm going to do tonight on the show of my new single coming out end of the month, September 30th. The song is called The One. Enjoy.
Awesome.
Take me by the hand and pull me in closer. Can't we be more than friends? Boy, you got me dreaming. I picture us together. Can't we be more than friends? I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. Got you on my mind and I think I kinda like it. I just wanna know you more. Boy, you got me dreaming. I picture us together, and I just wanna know you more. And I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. And I just wanna love your body. We can keep it so no hurry. Let's take a chance just one night. Keep it on the low, no spotlight. I just wanna love your body. We can keep it so no hurry. Let's take a chance just one night. Keep it on the low, no spotlight. Oh. And I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one. I could be the one. I could be the one, the one, the one. Baby, let me be the one, the one, the one. And I just wanna love your body. We can keep it so no hurry. Let's take a chance just one night. Keep it on the low, no spotlight. I just wanna love you. I just wanna love your body. Oh, let's take a chance just one night. Oh.
That's a wrap.
Oh,
That's a good
nice.
wrap.
Very soon.
That's like